Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. Just before I jump in and start today's podcast, I was just in the podcasting platform that I use so you have a platform and you upload your episodes, and then it actually distributes your podcast out to the different platforms for people to listen to, depending on where they prefer to listen. So I was just on that before, and my mind is blown because the Healthy Her podcast has nearly reached 30,000 downloads, which is just insane. And I just want to say a massive thank you for all of your reviews, your listens, your downloads every week. I'm so incredibly grateful. And this podcast was something that was on my heart for such a long time. And I let fear stand in my way, as I talk about a lot on this podcast about how fear of failure and fear of it not being right or people not liking it. But I knew in my heart of hearts that I had a message to share with women, because so many women I spoke to were just lost, confused, overwhelmed, just needing some help around healthy eating and weight loss, and they just couldn't find it anywhere. So I definitely knew that I had a purpose and a passion, and I really needed to start this podcast. And just the downloads, it's just incredible. So I just want to say a massive thank you for all of your support of the podcast, whether you've told a friend or shared it with a friend, or I'm honestly just so grateful. And also too, if you do listen every week, don't forget to hit the follow button so that you don't miss an episode. And it also too, it just lets those platforms know that the Healthy Her is a good podcast and worth people listening to. So make sure that if you haven't, that you hit the follow or subscribe button. Okay, let's jump into today's episode, because we are heading into that busy social season towards the end of the year. So I really wanted to help you to eat out and enjoy food without the guilt, because I know when the social events and things start to kick in, that's when the food noise becomes really loud and the guilt becomes loud, and we start to second guess ourselves, and we start to think, oh, should I work out some more, or should I skip meals to make up for the things that I did when I was eating out? So I really want to take today's podcast episode to empower you to feel confident and in control of the social events and eating out that you attend to as a busy woman, because let's be honest, eating out is one of the joys of life. We're not supposed to just stay home and never eat out and never socialize and never see friends and family. We're supposed to go out and enjoy a tasty meal together. And I really want you to be able to do that without that guilt and without all of that food noise, because it's really not a nice place to be in when you're sitting at a restaurant and I really want to order that, but should I order that? Or is that going to be really bad? And then am I going to have to work it off tomorrow? And like I said, when you're doing a lot of social events and you have a lot of social things on, that food noise can get quite hard. So I really want to empower you with all of the confidence today so you can say yes to all of those invitations out for dinners and restaurants and meals and things, and you can confidently say yes and enjoy the experience and know exactly how and what to eat. Okay, as you know, knowledge is power. Okay, so the more that you understand, the more equipped you are to make better food choices. So I really want to talk to you first about why, as women, we have food guilt. Okay, so why when you go out to a restaurant and you eat a bowl of pasta, or you eat something that you know is not considered technically healthy, or it's higher in calories, it's really important that you understand as a busy woman why you actually have food guilt. This is number one, and it's really important. You don't understand how much food you eat. And that is the reality. 99.99% of the women that I work with, the women in the membership, do not know how much they eat. Okay. And that's why when you don't have that knowledge about yourself and how much food you eat, when you go out to a restaurant and you eat something that you would think is not good or not healthy, everything is considered bad because you don't have that food and nutrition knowledge and you don't understand. So you eat out and then you're like, oh, I want to have a big bowl of pasta. Okay, that's bad for me. And then it's creating these feelings of fear and like an uncomfortableness in your body. And it's just really important because here's the really cool thing. If you did understand about food and nutrition, about how many calories you ate in a day, about how much protein you need to eat, if you understood those things, you would be able to eat out at a restaurant every single time with maximum confidence and not have to worry because you would know exactly how that meal, whatever it was, pasta, steak, fish, you might like an Asian dish, some noodles, whatever it is, you would know exactly how that higher calorie, higher fat meal fits perfectly into your day of eating, fits perfectly into your goals. And it's the best feeling ever because it's that inner confidence. Okay, you're not guessing, you're not Googling, you're not just trying and hoping and wishing that, what you're doing is working. You know that you can quite comfortably eat a huge bowl of pasta and it's not going to have an impact on your goals because you understand how much food you eat. Like I said, us women don't understand it. We think we do. And I was exactly the same. I thought I knew how much food I ate. I thought I knew how many calories I ate. I didn't. Okay. You can eat healthy and still be over consuming calories. You can eat a very little amount of food and still be eating too many calories. Like I said, we just don't understand the amount of food that we eat. And that's where that feeling of fear and uncomfortableness comes from when we eat out because we're worried. We're worried that if I eat that thing, it's going to make me put on weight. Or if I eat that meal, it's going to derail the efforts. Like you might be going out on a Friday night and you've been so good Monday to Friday and you think that one meal is going to throw you off track. It's not. That is where understanding how much food you eat and what your diet is made up of and what it needs to be in order to get results is so important. And that's exactly why the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership is structured the way it is. Okay, so our Hype Gal members join and they do my exclusive 7-day diet audit where they work out exactly how much food they eat, where they've been going wrong, and then they create a simple 2-step calorie deficit for success. It's really easy. No fancy calculations, like nothing complicated, but literally within 7 days, those Hype Gal members know exactly how much food they eat. And it's like this massive light bulb moment goes off in their head and it's, oh, okay, wow, because I can see it. Like there's no more guessing. There's no more thinking, wishing and hoping and I can't eat this much and I think I have this much protein and I can't eat this many carbohydrates. It's all there in front of you so you can see exactly what you've got, exactly what you're working with and exactly what you need to tweak. And that's that confidence. Okay, because when you know how much food you eat, you can eat out with confidence because you can see the big picture. And you can see how that meal fits quite nicely into your full day of eating, into your week of eats, in with your weight loss goals. So that's why we have that food guilt when we eat out because we just don't understand food. We don't have that food and nutrition knowledge. We don't understand how much we eat, and that's where the food comes from. Number 2, as to why we experience food guilt, we still label foods. Okay. Now, again, I always say this and I'll always remind you that food doesn't have feelings, okay? That, like fish and chips at the restaurant or nasi goreng or creamy carbonara with lots of chicken and bacon and everything in it, it does not have feelings. It is us that associates a feeling to that food or to that meal, okay? So that's what I'm saying. Your food guilt comes from still labeling those foods. So you're labeling that food by going, well, okay, that's a carbonara and I know it's got lots of cream and oil and cheese and all this stuff and that's going to make me fat. No, it won't. Again, back to number 1. If you understand how much food you eat, if you understand where your calories are coming from, if you understand your deficit, if you understand your range, what you need to be eating in, that meal's not going to do anything. Okay. And that's why you have that food guilt, because you're still labeling foods as good or bad, or they're going to make me gain weight, or food's really high in fat, so it's going to do all these awful things to me. It's not. Remember, it's just us as women that associate feeling to that food. Food doesn't have feelings. It's just neutral. So really try and shift up the way that you look at your food and just go, it's just food, okay? And it can fit in nicely wherever it needs to according to your goals and what you're working on. Okay, number 3. This is number 3 of like why you have that food guilt when you eat out at a restaurant. So number 3, you don't understand the energy and calories in your food, okay? So you always assume that eating less is the best thing to do, okay? When you understand nutrition, diet, calories, when you understand, and it doesn't have to be bang on perfect to the like inch, like it's, if you have a good rough idea, okay, well, eating at a restaurant, that meal's got roughly this many calories in it, like a rough idea, okay, you are knowledgeable, you are empowered, and you won't always go to that default idea that eating less is always best, okay? And it's just because you don't understand the energy and calories in your food. I didn't, so many women don't. That was like a huge thing that I found on this journey was as I was sort of educating myself and learning and things, and when I was trying to lose my 10 kilos, is that I was shocked. Like I was shocked at things that in my mind, I thought, well, it's a healthier option. If you're out at the food court, at the shopping center, like I would think like it was a healthier option, that big salad roll or whatever. And oftentimes it was like something like a sausage roll that ended up being a better option for me than this massive roll because of all the cheese and butter and mayonnaise and things and all these other things that they put in it. So understanding food and what you eat is powerful. It is really powerful. People will go, oh, if you're tracking your food, you're so obsessive, and that's, no, it's not. When you track your food, you gain this like irreplaceable knowledge about the food that you are eating, the calories that you're eating, how much energy you need to eat. And it is life-changing. And so that's why we struggle with that food guilt when we eat out, is because we just don't understand the energy and the calories in that food. Okay, because like I said, if you did, and if you understood the bigger picture and how much you eat, you wouldn't worry about it because you could see exactly how it would fit into your day or your week, like I said. Okay, so I hope that those things have really resonated with you, because it's really important that you understand why you feel the guilt when you go out to eat at a restaurant, or you get a takeaway, or you're at a friend's house or whatever and they've ordered food in, whatever it is, wherever you're going. I just want you to understand why that food guilt is there. And there is a solution to it. Like I said, it's all about understanding how much food you're eating, where your calories are coming from, because knowledge is power. And when you understand those things, you're set for life, okay? Because you can just go, oh, okay, well, yeah, I've had this today. Yep, that'll fit in nicely, perfect, no stress. Like it's really empowering to know what you're eating and how much you're eating, because it gives you your confidence. And you're no longer just wishing and guessing and hoping and, oh, if I'm trying to be good. So we're going out to a restaurant. I really want this particular meal that I love at my favorite restaurant, but I'll order a salad. Now, again, you're assuming that salad is that better option for you. And that's just because you don't understand food, okay? Because the salad may not be your best option, okay? But again, it's, oh, well, salad's healthy, so I'll just eat that. And that's not always the case. And that's where food knowledge is absolute power for us busy women.
If you're like me and you have a busy life and you want to start your day successfully, which for me is a high protein breakfast, I love using the Real Nourish products. Their pancake bake or their crumble are my favorite. Like no brainer. There's nothing that comes close to these products. You literally make them in minutes, and when they're cooked, they make 3 generous serves. So you eat it feeling like a queen, like you are full, your belly is satiated, and you are ready to start the day. And the last thing you're going to be doing is thinking about food for a few hours. That is for sure.
Okay, so how do we actually eat out without the guilt? So we talked about why we feel guilty. How do we eat out without the guilt? Okay, number 1, take back your control and your power. Read the menu before you go and decide what to eat. I have done this many a time. And the reason that I do this is because I'm sure that you can all relate. When you're out with like your girlfriends or friends or whatever, and everyone's chatting and you're trying to catch up on what's been happening, and like people's kids and all this stuff going on. And you're trying to like keep on top of all the different conversations are happening. And then the waiter comes around or the waitress and she's like, would you like to eat? And you're like, oh, nah, I'll just come back in 10 minutes. And they come back and you've still continued talking and you haven't really had a look. And then you just kind of pick something that, you know, you may not have wanted or, you know, you weren't sure about. So just before you go to your restaurant, just have a quick look at the menu. Have a look, okay? That will help you to take back your control because you will go to your restaurant and you will know exactly what you're going to eat. And you can sit and enjoy your conversation and not be having to stress over the menu and what to order and what to eat. So tip number 1, take back your control and your power. Read the menu before you go. Jump online, jump on Google. They're all there. Have a look, work out what you're going to eat. And so you can confidently walk into that restaurant not feeling overwhelmed and significantly reducing that food noise around what to eat. Okay, number 2, this is a big one. Don't go out for a meal when you haven't eaten all day. When you haven't eaten all day or skipped meals because you are asking for trouble. Okay, done this. I've gone, going to eat out for dinner. So I'm going to skip a meal here or I'm going to eat less here to kind of make up for it as we do. And it's just a recipe for disaster. It is very difficult to make a good food choice, a nourishing food choice when you are hungry. It's damn near impossible, okay, because you just want to eat, your body's hungry and you just want to be fed. So do not go out for a meal if you have not eaten enough during the day because, as I always tell you, your body will make up for it at night. If you do not eat enough food during the day, your body will make up for it at night, okay? And that's where you will order the entree, the garlic bread, the nibbles, the dessert, like all the things because you are hungry and you want to be fed and your body needs to be fed. So do not go out for a meal at nighttime when you're hungry. A really important tip, eat a high protein snack at around 3 or 4 p.m. before you go out, okay? This will help you to make better food choices. I never go out for a meal if, say, let's say I've had lunch and then I've had nothing all afternoon and then I'm out to dinner at 7 o'clock, okay? I don't do that because I know that I can't, like I'm just not going to be able to make a good food choice, okay? And I'm just going to order everything on the menu because I'm hungry. So I always make sure if I'm going out, I have a high protein snack at 3 to 4 p.m. Now, the reason you want a high protein snack is because the protein will be digested slowly by your body. Okay. If you have a high carbohydrate snack, your body's just going to chew through it as energy, whereas protein is digested slowly in our bodies. Okay. So a really great thing might just be a protein bar or like a protein smoothie or some yogurt and some fruit and a little bit of granola on the top. You will notice a significant difference when you get to that restaurant compared to if you just had lunch and went, oh, I'm going out for dinner, so I don't want to eat too much anyway, compared to if you have that snack at 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, tip number 3 for us taking back our control and our power when eating out as a busy woman, stick with a main meal. Most serves are huge, like huge. I remember, and this is years ago when I was younger, my parents took myself and my brother and my sister and we went to America and the food and the servings, and this was years ago, huge, like massive amounts of food. You would not normally serve yourself that much food if you were eating that at home. So just stick with the main meal. The main meal will fill you up. Okay. So avoid things like entrees and dessert. But if you do want to have a dessert, share it with someone. The calories in half. Like you can still have those things, but just share them or have some at the restaurant and take the rest home. But try and stick with just that main meal. And like I said, the main meals are huge. And like I said, you would not, like you think about when you go out to a restaurant, you're at a really nice Italian restaurant and they serve you up a bowl of pasta, okay, or gnocchi or spaghetti or fettuccine or like whatever it is. They are huge serves. You would never serve yourself that much food at home. So just be really conscious of the fact that the main meals are generally at a restaurant very large. So even though, you know, the appetizers and the entrees and everything else looks really appealing, that main meal will be enough food for you. And this is something that I slowly did over the time of eating out. I just kind of learned that I really didn't need all that food. And I just found that because it's there and then you get an entree and you get your main and then you have dessert, like by the end of the night, I felt really bloated and actually very, you know, when you've overeaten because it's just so much food and you're sort of just sitting there in a food coma thinking, I really should have just stopped at my main meal. So try and stick with just your main meal. Okay, Number 4, switch your thinking. Remember, there's no bad foods, all foods in moderation. It's about rewiring your brain that you can eat out and still hit your goals. And that's where that knowledge comes in. If you are still guessing like how many calories I need to eat in a day, or following some 1,200 calorie meal plan, or someone's day on a plate on Google, you're setting yourself up for failure because none of those things work. Okay, you need to work out how much food you eat and work out your own calorie deficit for success. And when you know that, you can eat out and know that you're still going to hit your goals, that you can eat your pasta and that you're still going to hit your goals. Okay, so it's all about switching up your thinking. Okay, number 5. This is a really big one that like I said, I mean, when I share all these things with you, I'm sharing them with you because I've tried and tested multiple different things. Okay, I've tried different ways of eating out, like eating meals before, not eating meals. Like I've tried multiple different things. So anything I share with you on the podcast is because I've done it. I've tried it, I've failed it, I've tried something else and failed it, and I found the things that really work for busy women. So number 5, look at your day as a whole. Now, we've all done this where you think, oh, I'm going to eat out tonight, going out for dinner, some drinks with some friends. I won't eat much today. I know I'm going to eat right at night time and I'm going to eat all this food, so I just won't eat enough. And I'll just like skip some meals here and there throughout the day. We've all done it. I have done it. But I want you to look at your day as a whole instead of just focusing on that one time where you're eating out at a restaurant. So don't think, oh, I'm eating out, so I'm just going to YOLO for the rest of the day because I'm eating out anyway. That's going to be high fat, high calorie, so it really doesn't matter, and I'll just stuff up the whole day and it really doesn't matter. No, you still have multiple opportunities before you hit that restaurant at nighttime to eat well and nourish your body in the lead up to dinner. There's so much research that shows that if you eat well to start your day, so having a high protein breakfast, it has a positive knock-on effect for the food that you eat for the rest of the day. Okay, so try and get out of that mindset of, oh, well, I'm going out for dinner, so I may as well not bother for the rest of the day. No, you have multiple opportunities: breakfast, lunch, snacks, water. Are you going to go for a walk? You've got multiple other opportunities to take care of yourself and to eat well and to eat enough protein and to drink enough water before you hit that dinner. So don't just look at events as single things. Look at that event or that thing that you're going to do, going out to a restaurant, a meal or whatever, and look at it and see how it fits into the rest of your day. Don't just throw away the whole day just because you're eating out at nighttime. Okay, because that's just crazy. It's just a crazy way of thinking. So really try and look at your day as a whole. Okay, tip number 6. Okay, this is a big one. There is no good or right or better meal for you to eat at a restaurant. There just isn't. Okay, if you've got specific weight loss and healthy eating goals, obviously then you would want it to fit into your calories or whatever for the day, which is totally fine and totally okay and totally doable. You can have an amazingly delicious meal at a restaurant and still fit in with your calories and your macros and your goals. But change your mindset, okay? There's no better meal. There's no good meal, okay? And like it's just a shift of mindset. Okay, because if you really feel like that meal, you should eat that meal and just incorporate it into your day of eats and your week of eats. You're better off eating something that you really feel like than every time you go out to your favorite restaurant, you're like, oh no, I won't eat that. I don't know, I don't have that because I know it's really like high in fat and calories. I won't have that. I won't eat that. Eat what you feel like. And remember, there's no good, right, better meal to order out at a restaurant. It's the meal that fits in with you. What you're like, you might be like, I've been so good and I'm going to treat myself tonight. Great, go do that. If you're like, no, I've specific goals and I'm really want to stick within my calories today, do that. There's no hard and fast rule, and it's about doing what works for you. Now, I also wanted to give you a few extra bonus tips with this podcast episode because I know that, a lot of you are probably thinking, okay, but I still want to stick to a better choice. What would you suggest that I order at a restaurant? So here are some extra tips for you if you want to stick with a slightly better choice when you're out at a restaurant, okay? Number 1, aim for a protein-based meal. So something like fish, steak, or chicken, okay? Because remember, because it's got more protein, your body will digest it slower, so you will feel fuller. Okay, compared to if you just eat a massive bowl of pasta. So aim for a protein-based meal. Number 2, ask for the sauce on the side. This was something I had to get used to, I guess, and kind of comfortable with because I remember the first time I did it, I felt I felt uncomfortable asking for something that I wanted. And whereas now I'm very comfortable just saying, could you please put the sauce on the side? Could you not add oil? Can I please have it this way? You're paying at a restaurant for a meal. It is okay to ask for what you want. It doesn't make you rude. You're just asking for the way that you would prefer your meal to come. So please ask for things that you want, sauce on the side, whatever it is. Can I please swap out the chips for a salad? Ask for what you want. And like I said, it's just a skill. The first time I did it, I felt a bit uncomfortable and like I was being annoying or like I was going to irritate someone. But after a while, you just understand it's okay to ask for those things. So just start practicing it and get into the habit of asking for the things that you want. Number 3, and this is only if you're wanting to stick to a better choice, avoid creamy pastas. Like, it's just a given. And that's the thing compared to, which you may or may not be aware of, that's the thing with, like when you eat out at a restaurant, everything tastes amazing. Like even like broccoli and vegetables and like literally everything tastes amazing. And the reason is because they add butter, oil, cheese to everything. Like you would be shocked at how much oil add to make a creamy pasta or the cream or the cheese, or because they don't care about that stuff. They're just making the meal to taste good. So it's just very aware that like the little bit of oil that you use at home, when you're out at a restaurant, they use 10 times as much oil and cheese and cream and all of those things in their recipes. Okay. So trying to make a better choice, just avoid the creamy pastas. Okay. And stick to your protein-based meal, like I said, fish, steak, chicken. Number 4, you can also ask for no oil. You can say, can I please have that? And could you please not have oil, or could you only use this much oil? Like you can totally ask for what you want. Tip number 5, share a meal. I've been out with my kids and stuff like that. And like certain restaurants are particularly huge servings of food, and we'll just get some plates and share them. Okay. Because it's just too much food. Like it's a copious amount of food. So share a meal or get a few entrees. There are ways around it where you can still eat out, you can still enjoy what you're doing, but still make a better choice. And I just want to stress though that, how I said about avoiding creamy pastas. If you want to eat a creamy pasta, carbonara, Alfredo, whatever it is, eat it. Okay. If you are desperately craving that pasta, just eat it. If it fits into your day of eating and you've got that knowledge, just eat it. Okay. It's only when we start to restrict our food that we tend to make poor choices, because if you really genuinely feel like something and you deprive yourself of that food, it sits with you for a long time and you're like, oh, I really wanted that. And then you get like meal envy, where the person sitting next to you's ordered the thing that you really wanted, but you were trying to be good, so you didn't order it. So if that's something that you really want, just order it and get it. And the way that you can get around that too is just ask for a takeaway container. That's tip number 6. Ask for a takeaway container. Just because a restaurant serves you a meal does not mean that you have to consume the whole thing right then and there. Okay, you can say, could I please have a takeaway container? Oh, no problem. They have no issue with doing that. Okay, so if you want to order your pasta, order it, and you might like only eat half of it and you can take the rest home for another lunch or a dinner or whatever. Don't be afraid to ask for a takeaway container. And like I said, it's this mindset, I think, that we were brought up as children. It's like, well, if you don't eat everything on your plate, you can't leave the table. And that's not the case. If you've eaten enough and you feel comfortably full, you do not have to eat everything that is in front of you. When you have a pasta or things like that, or like a noodle-based dish, ask for extra chicken, ask for extra fish, ask for extra protein. If you know that it's quite a noodle heavy based dish, and often they don't give you a lot of protein in those, ask for the dish and just ask for some extra chicken. Again, totally okay to ask for the things that you want. You want to go into your restaurant and out for dinner feeling confident, empowered and in control, not overwhelmed and worried. And then as well too, when you leave thinking, oh, I've overeaten today, and I should have eaten less during the day, and because that's food noise and it's just a horrible place to be. So I really hope that this podcast episode has given you some really simple tips so you can just take back your control, because you are going to be doing lots of social events and having lots of things coming up. And it's really empowering to be able to tackle them with knowing, with confidence, and knowing exactly what to do. And if you are ready, you can jump in and join the Healthy Eating Hype Gal membership and community. And like I said, I will teach you my proven, unique methods. So within 7 days, you'll have complete clarity. You'll know exactly how much you eat. You'll know exactly where you've been going wrong, and you will have a clear path to your success. Plus, of course, access to all of the yummy monthly Hype Gal meals that go out every single month. Happy eating out. Enjoy your time at your restaurant. And I hope these skills and these tips have really equipped you for your next eating out experience. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you all in our next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @TheActiveBod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.